Feels great to be back talking sports right here on the Weekend Show. I am Monday Thomas, super excited to be taking you around the world of sports this morning. Today is game day for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and as well as us preparing for a blockbuster Sunday, which happens to do the finals of the U.S. Open. But before we head into the conversation, let's quickly have a recap of the excitement we saw in sports over the week. On Sunday, it all started with the excitement and the blockbuster action ongoing at the U.S. Open, where players are coming up clutch. Right there on your screen is Carlos Alcaraz, who is through to the finals, and will be taking on Yannick Sinner. Then on Monday, it was all about the drama, the melodrama of the transfer deadline. We saw teams getting their players and, of course, crossing the T's and dotting the I's as far as recruitment is concerned for the current club season. And then on Tuesday, we saw the Super Eagles of Nigeria in their first training session, which they are going to prove what they've been doing so far in the training session when they take on the Mavobi of Rwanda later on today. And on Wednesday, we saw Naomi Osaka in the peak of her powers, beating Karolina Muchova in the quarterfinals of the U.S. Open. She eventually lost last night to Amanda Anisimova, who, of course, knocked her out of the semifinals. Amanda Anisimova is through to a second Grand Slam final. And then on Thursday, after 25 years and generating about £2 billion for Tottenham Hotspur, former chairman Daniel Levy says an emotional goodbyes to the White Lilies. And then on Friday, the Atlas Lions of Morocco, of course, registered their name as the first ever African country to qualify to the FIFA World Cup 2026. That will be hosted by 3 countries, which are Mexico, Canada, and as well as United States of America. Do not forget that Morocco were the first African country to ever play in the semifinals of the World Cup. And what's going to be happening today by 5 p.m. Nigerian time at the Godswill Pavilion International Stadium is Game 7 for the Super Eagles of Nigeria as it concerns the World Cup qualifiers. They are going to be taking on Rwanda, and some days later, they will take on South Africa in Bloemfontein. That's definitely going to take care of itself. What we're concerned about is tonight's action, and we're definitely going to talk about it in details. But before we head into the conversation once again, let's have a feel of the game of the week. Argentina versus Venezuela, game of the week for a reason. We saw Lionel Andres Messi once again the peak of his power, scoring twice as Argentina beat Venezuela by 3-0 in a stadium filled with about 80,000 people as they witnessed what could be Lionel Andres Messi's final home game for the Albiceleste of Argentina. Do not forget that in 2022, he, of course, took them on his back to their 3rd World Cup title, which was definitely a glorious one. Lionel Andres Messi has hinted after this game that he will be retiring. Joining us to make sense of the conversation is MC Samm. Good morning, MC. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good morning.
Now let's talk about Lionel Andres Messi. I know you're itching to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria, but let's talk about this man that registered his name on the Immortal list in 2022. I mean, he has won everything there is in world football. Every competition he has played in, he has won it. And here is Lionel Andres Messi hinting that this could be his final game for Argentina in Argentina as the beautiful game goes on. And he has also hinted that he might be retiring before the 2026 World Cup. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, let me start like this. Naturally, when the normal argument is Ronaldo, Messi, who is the better player, I'm a Ronaldo fan. Yes.
Okay.
But the honest truth is, do you know Messi shut me up with this last match because I didn't expect him. I didn't calculate that he was going to score 2 goals. I was like, this thing still did this guy body. Serious. I was like, it's still the body. The guy is playing very well.
So what do you think? I mean, would you love to see Messi in the 2026 World Cup?
To be honest, it will make it unique.
Yeah.
I would still love to see Messi because, do you know, naturally, for the past 10, 15, 20 years, the major argument when they're talking about football, best players, it has to involve Messi and Ronaldo. That is 1, 2. You can't talk about football, best players, and not mention Messi or Ronaldo. Even though they are number 3 or 4, anyhow you do it, they must be in that list. So him not in 2026 World Cup,
it's going to feel different. Yeah.
It's going to look so
because Ronaldo has not, by any stretch of imagination, hinted that he won't be playing at the 2026 World Cup. So it will make sense to have Lionel Messi as well, right?
The Ronaldo is going. Maybe 2037, you still see him.
All right, 2030, Ronaldo's longevity is remarkable, and many Messi fans will love to see the diminutive Argentine superstar Lionel Messi at the 2026 World Cup. But he hinted at the press conference after the game, or the post-match conference after the game, that he wouldn't be featuring at the 2026 World Cup, that he might be retiring before summer 2026. Summer 2026 is going to see the World Cup, 2026 World Cup, and definitely Nigerians are calling and clamoring to feature, just as they missed out in the 2022. But before we get to talk about Nigeria, let's celebrate another African country, the Atlas Alliance of Morocco, being the first African team to qualify to the World Cup. I mean, they joined the list of 17 players, 17 teams that are already through the likes of Argentina and France as well. But let's congratulate Morocco. I mean, this seems to be the one paving the flag, waving the flag of Africa. I mean, they're not just in performance on the football pitch in terms of infrastructure. The 2025 Nations Cup, talking about WAFCON, was hosted there. The 2025 Men's Nations Cup is going to be hosted in Morocco. They seems to have infrastructure. They seems to have beautiful football, and no wonder they are leading Africa.
Yeah, the honest truth is, the way Morocco are handling things, I feel I'm not surprised with their unique results. I'm not surprised. They are really investing in the world of sports. That's something plenty of African countries I wish they will learn from. Because, to be honest, the national team of Morocco alone, just making that national team, you can't see someone that you are doubting or asking, why did they make it? They select the right people. They are using. So, to be honest, they invested well in sports.
And they're still very much investing well. And let's see how further they will go at the 2026 World Cup. And now let's get to talk about what should be talked about, and that is the Nigeria's World Cup chances as they take on the Amavubi of Rwanda later on today by 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Eric Chill has possibly selected his first 11, and here you have it on your screens. Nigeria are struggling, and we saw yesterday the likes of Benin Republic and South Africa got all victorious in their encounter. And now it's all over to Nigeria. It's a must-win for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. As a matter of fact, for the next 4 games remaining, Nigeria needs to get 12 points from it to have a chance of at least playing in the playoffs of the World Cup this year.
Yes, to be honest, we don't have an option. Our option is we must win. It's not like we draw or win, no. And the honest truth is, I feel we have the right squad for it. But previously, there were some funny things that happened. But I believe with our this coach, that since he was handling he has been doing well. He has not lost any match for qualifiers.
Yes, he hasn't, but he's drawn a lot of games. Yes. We drew against Lesotho. We drew against Zimbabwe. The only win we got was against Benin Republic away from home.
Since they start handling it, I was recently with all the things that have been happening behind the scene, I feel Nigeria is going to play well. And the right selection, this is the first time we're dropping in natural from our squad, right? This is the first time.
In a long while.
As in, so we are now, Nigeria, they selected the right players. If I checked the team, they selected the right players. There's nobody that I'm feeling like, why didn't you make it?
Okay.
There's nobody I'm asking that. No, they all.
So you sound very confident that the Super Eagles will get all 3 points against Rwanda. Put your money where your mouth is. Can you drop your predictions?
The honest truth is, I am very sure we're going to beat Rwanda.
Drop your predictions.
Let's say 2-1.
2-1.
Yes.
So we are going to concede against Rwanda at the Gosilo Park International Stadium. We don't, the goals can come in handy. We don't even, okay. I'll let you to your predictions.
The truth is, I know Nigeria is one team that they find difficult to score against, right? But one thing I've learned, especially, I learned it from Man U fans. Don't reduce your hope, reduce your trust, so that you not have a heartbreak. Like Man U fans now,
okay.
They can't predict
it's the hope
anything.
that kills, right?
Yes. So that's I say 2-1.
All right, MC Samm calling a 2-1 victory to Nigeria later on today. Definitely not a financial advice. Talking about finances, let's get to talk about the transfer market that we saw ending in so much cash being splashed. Over £3.4 billion spent over the transfer market, and that is definitely record-breaking. And here you have it on your screen. The head coach of Arsenal has now spent £1 billion plus, and he has only won the FA Cup for Arsenal. Now the question is, Mikel Arteta did some great business in the market. I mean, the likes of Christian Norgard, Gyökeres, and the rest of the players he signed, Eze, I mean, raking up the cash right there in the transfer market. Do you think he is now under immense pressure to deliver for the Gunners?
To be honest, immense is a lighter word, because the normal Arsenal I grew up supporting, that I remember the time of Arsene Wenger, we don't spend money. Some people, I remember then Chelsea were the teams, Chelsea Madrid were the teams spending big money, and they do call us the poor men team, stingy people. That's how they do describe us.
I think because Arsenal were trying to build the Emirates at that time.
After Emirates, natural, yes, Wenger did that to build Emirates. But after Emirates, the normal Arsene Wenger, we know him is the player like Fabregas, players that we don't know them from anywhere.
Like homegrown.
You understand? They just so naturally we knew Arsenal as a team that would build up a player. But Arsenal spending $1 billion plus, like I'm surprised. Like wow, my team now.
Not in this transfer market.
I know. In total, since
Arteta.
Just in this this particular market, the money we used for Gyökeres and Eze, they're surprising. The normal Arsenal, one team that naturally teams do as in controllers, teams do overtake us in transfers, because naturally the normal Arsenal I know, we don't spend much money. Most times, the only players we successfully buy are players that we are the only team or a smaller team coming for. But once other big teams come for that player, the player end up going to that team because they end up buying them for us. Yeah. I remember at the time of Torres.
But now we have Arsenal has got pulling powers,
yes,
right?
We're spending money.
So the pressure is on for Mikel Arteta to deliver. Are you going to agree with that?
Yes, he has none. There's no any excuse. He has no excuse for him to say this is why we didn't win. No excuse.
So no excuses for Mikel Arteta, as well as no excuses for Coach Eric Chil, as Nigeria marches forward yet again to, of course, represent the green, white, green. I'm talking about the Super Eagles when they take on Rwanda in the World Cup qualifiers. Quite unfortunate that that's all we've got time for on Sports on the Weekend show. I remain Monday Thomas, and see you later for something greater as politics comes up next.